with you at later point of time. Right, in this class we'll be discussing about the different key features of the Java. So they are also called as Java buzzwords. That means why actually the Java programming language is having so importance compared to other programming languages. So these are the key features or key properties of the Java programming language. The first key buzzword is simple. So Java programming language is very simple. Its syntax is simple and it's very easy to learn. Learning of Java program is very simple and easy. That means any user with little programming language of C can learn the Java, even if the user has very little knowledge about C++. It's not an issue. With the little programming language of C, you can directly learn the Java. You can directly learn the Java. So learning Java programming language is very simple and easy. I'll just try to zoom it so that you can read it properly. Right? Okay. Now the second feature here is secured. It is going to provide the security for the system or our computer. This is what we have already seen. What is that? Whenever we download program, how Java provides security. How Java provides security. That means whenever we download the program from internet onto the client browser, assume this is the client, you are sitting at the client system and you're trying to access you're trying to download some program, probably it can be applet. So whenever you are downloading from the content from the internet, what Java does here is one specific part of the system will be reserved for Java execution environment, and whatever program you develop, so that program will be restricted only to access this part of the system. The program is not allowed to access other part of the system. Program is not allowed to access other part of the system. This applet, whatever we download, this is not allowed to access other part of the system, and this is only allowed to access this part of the system. With this we say that Java execution environment is secured. That means our system will be secured from the viruses or from the outside world. That is how we get security with the Java programming language. That is confining or restrict an applet. That is, if whatever program we download only to the Java execution environment, as I have shown here in the diagram. We are restricting only to the Java execution environment, whereas other part the applet will not be able to access. That is how we say that Java is secured programming language. That is, Java provides security for our system. The third property is portable nature of the Java. So as we know that whenever we compile a Java program, whenever we compile a Java program, say some any name.java. Java programs will always terminate with the extension .java. So whenever we compile a Java program, we get bytecode, not the executable code. And this bytecode can be carried to any platform for execution. That is platform 1, platform 2, platform 3, so on up to platform N. So as the outcome of the compiled outcome of Java program is bytecode, which can be carried to any other platform for execution, and on those platforms it will be executed with the help of Java virtual machine. As it can be carried from one platform to multiple other platforms, so Java programming language is called as portable programming language, or it supports the portability. Portable means carry from one place to other place. That was about the portable property of the Java. The next one is fourth property is object oriented. So in Java, each and everything is an object. That means there is a key line which is called as C++ is object oriented. Java is fully object oriented. That means the C++ programs can execute without the class, whereas in Java it is mandatory to write the class. Main function is also written within the class itself in Java. That's why we call Java as fully object oriented. Java programming language is fully object oriented. How I will come to know when explaining about the when we study the course. When I take on sample example program, you will come to know. Next property here is Java is a robust programming language. So robust in the sense, whenever you are developing the Java programs at intermediary points of places, you will be checking the program, and it is going to the Java program itself will find some of the mistakes which the programmer will do. That means it will check the mistakes during the compilation time only, and it can also check during the execution. That means, for example, if there is some exception, say division by 0, you are writing a code in such a way that somewhere you are trying to divide a number called 10 by 0. We know that as per the mathematics, we are not allowed to divide any number by 0. That means it is not defined, or it is error, or it is infinite. If you do any such mistakes, it is possible for us to write the handle such exceptions. Handle such exceptions. That means by chance, if you are not handling any of the exceptions, that mishandled exceptions can be controlled with the help of Java. That means the failures, the abrupt impact on the system can be prevented by using the Java programming language. There is a situation, there is a functionality called exception handling with which we can prevent the loss to the system, because it is going to detect the mistakes well in advance. And another meaning of robust itself is the Java programming, the Java program can tolerate some sort of errors. They can tolerate some errors, user errors, if you have written exception handling. So how we'll be seeing all the things later. It supports multi-threaded. Java is also called as multi-threaded programming language. That means it supports multiple jobs to be done in parallel. Multiple functionalities can be executed. That is, we can develop the programs with which we can do multiple things parallelly. We can do multiple things parallelly. That means if there are 4 jobs, that is job 1, job 2, job 3, and job 4. So we can write a Java program in such a way that that is going to create 4 threads for each and every work. A single Java program can create 4 different threads. That means a single master is assigning work to 4 different workers to get the work done parallelly. All the 4 workers are working parallelly, and they will give back the result to the master, and master will submit the result to the one who is in need of that. That is what is multi-threaded. We can do multiple jobs simultaneously. Architecture neutral property, which is nothing but we can take the bytecode, we can develop the Java program on one platform, carry it and execute it on any other platform. That is the bytecode we can take. That is, write once in one platform and execute it anywhere and anytime. That is what is architect. They are not architecture dependent. They are also called as platform independent. Java programs are also called as architecture neutral or platform independent. They can be developed in one platform and executed in other place. This is what the diagram helps us to understand. They can be developed in, this is one platform. This is one platform. That is also called as native platform. That is the platform on which you have developed your Java program. You can carry that and interpret it on any other platforms. Interpreted and high performance, as we know, the Java program is not an Java program is interpreted. Why? Because after compilation of the Java program, we will get the intermediary form called bytecode, or that is also called as Java bytecode. And the performance is higher because of the just-in-time compiler. Because of the just-in-time compiler. So I'll explain why the performance is higher. The just-in-time compiler. So we know that the Java program, once you compile it, we will get the bytecode, and the bytecode will be carried to some platform, some platform. Bytecode will be carried to some platform. At the destination platform, we'll be having Java virtual machine. Java virtual machine. So what it does here is it is going to interpret the bytecode. It is going to interpret the bytecode, or that is called as interpretation. And this interpretation will take more time. Interpretation will take more time. And if there is some part of the code which you want to execute repeatedly, or which is important for us, and you want the results at a faster rate, what we can do, we can make use of just-in-time compiler. So what just-in-time compiler does, it is going to convert the bytecode. It is going to convert the bytecode into executable code. It is going to convert the bytecode into executable code. Why? Because execution is faster compared to interpretation. The reason here is execution is faster compared to interpretation. Execution is faster compared to interpretation. That's why the performance is more once we go for Java programming language. Because whatever platform you use that program, that platform can decide if there is some part of the code which is required, which is very much essential, that code can be converted to executable code, and that conversion is done by the just-in-time compiler, JIT, or just-in-time compiler. That's why the performance is more. Next bit, distributed. So the Java programming language supports the distributed nature, in the sense we can make use of networking features to assign work to the clients from the server. That means client server architecture is also supported. That means some networking protocols can be used, such as remote method invocation concept, and we can get the work done. That is, client server architecture can be implemented. So as I said, if this is a server or some machine, they can assign work to some other machine. This is machine 2 and this is machine 1. This is machine 2 and this is machine 1. And there is some method called add function here. What this will do, it will perform RMI, that is remote method invocation. What is the method? Add method. Get the work done and get back the result. So such things are supported by networking protocols, that is transmission control protocol, and IP, that is TCP IP. So fundamental thing here is, when more than one machine is connected across the network, one machine can assign work to other machine and get the work done. And that assignment is done with the help of remote method invocation concept. That means invoking the functionalities present at the server side. If this machine cannot do some work, this machine can assign that work to some other machine and get it done. So that is a very simple concept about distributed nature of the Java programming language. Another thing is dynamic. Java programs, they are going to carry the dynamic information with them during the execution. That means they are going to carry the present status of the objects during their runtime. so that whether you can access that object or not during the execution will be decided by this particular variable. That means with every object you can restrict one variable, and that variable will tell you whether you are allowed to access that object or not. So that is used to verify and resolve access to the object. How? The whatever variable or dynamic information is there, that will allow you to, that will tell you whether you are allowed to access or not. Because during the execution it is possible that at some point of time you were allowed to access some part of the program, but after some point of time the situation will change and you may not be allowed to access that object, and that information will be stored in the dynamic property. That means, just I'll show the diagrammatically. See, this is one pen. Say this is one pen or book one resource which you are supposed to use, and the users are using that information. That means there is one, let us use one variable. What is that variable? Allowed is equal to true. That means when till this allowed is equal to true, the users are allowed to make use of this pen or book. And at some point of time, if the resources are over, that is ink in the pen is over or number of pages in the book are over, what you do here is the allowed variable, the dynamic allowed variable will be set to false. That means when this is false, you are not allowed to access this resource. That is dynamically it will change, the status of the resources or the status of the object will change during the execution. That is called as dynamic nature of the object of the Java programming language. So these were the key features or Java buzzwords of the Java or the buzzwords of the Java programming language.